Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days. And we are looking at the week of Monday, August 26th, going to Sunday, September 1st. As always, take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. It is a reading for the collective, so a general reading. And just use your own intuition to see how you might or might not relate to what's here today. I will say that it's a pretty feminine energy this week, ending with some masculine over next weekend. So I'll talk a little bit about the astrology happening this week, where the planets are moving and so forth, and then the cards, and then we'll end with an oracle card from the Tree Keeper's Oracle. And I'm also using the Wildwood deck for today's reading. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome if you're new, and if you have been here before, welcome back. Really appreciate every one of you. So we begin our week with the moon in Gemini, and what's nice is that we're going to have, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is going to go direct here soon. But anyway, that's where we start. So a lot of curiosity on Monday. Maybe, I know a lot of people are going back to school. I'm going back to teaching. So that's good energy for that. And then we'll end the week with the moon in Virgo. And of course, we're going into Labor Day here in the States on our next Monday. So, that's good, grounded, earthy energy, very task-oriented, service to others, health issues, intestines, things like that. All right. And then, so Tuesday, we have Venus trining Uranus. So the trines are very nice energy. They're flowing, easy. They tend to be happy. And, Venus, planet of love, beauty, aesthetics, the feminine, and then Uranus, more on the erratic, eccentric, lightning bolt style. So it could be a great day for feeling very enthused about your love life, perhaps meeting somebody who's very interesting, quite eccentric, unusual in some way, but be mindful that energy can be, I don't want to say deceptive, it's not trying to trick anybody, but it can change quickly. Then on Wednesday the 28th, Venus again, this time opposing Neptune, and that's especially a place, I just described Venus energies, and Neptune dissolves everything. It's the collective unconscious. It's a place where we can get lost. It can be very good artistically, very good for dreaming, music, poetry, painting, all those kinds of things. But when you have Venus opposing it, so it could make us, I feel one of, two things, either very optimistic potentially about a relationship thing and not seeing the real pitfalls, or, if we go to the sort of darker side of Neptune, just really feeling negative about it and not quite knowing what to do. But we also have, as I mentioned, Mercury turning direct. So that happens on Wednesday. And, when it turns direct, it usually takes a day or two for the kinds of issues it can cause in retrograde to clear up. So, communication, technology, short trips, things like that. So hopefully that stuff, again, will get a little bit clearer, and it will be better able to communicate with one another, get our messages, do the things we need to do on that practical level. Then on Thursday, we have Venus entering Libra. And as it does that, it's trining Pluto. Pluto is at those, just about, actually, I think I've got it written down here, moving in, backing up into Capricorn, and I'll talk about that in a little bit here. But it loves Libra, it loves being there, rules Libra. It's very good for relationships. It's there about 3 weeks, so that could be a very good time to focus on relationship goals, perhaps issues, but it brings a nice energy to that. And it is also trining Pluto. And, you know, again, trines are easier energies. So with it's a Libra Aquarius thing right there. So the very beginning of Libra and the very beginning of Aquarius, where Pluto is. And since they're both air signs, they get along really well. And so it could bring a depth, a seriousness to relationship, maybe some playfulness on top of, you know, that power stuff, because Pluto loves power, loves money, and it can be helpful with us making money because Venus likes nice things. So hopefully that energy works out that way for you. Then on Sunday, we have Uranus turning retrograde. So Uranus is all about our originality, and when it's going retrograde, it's a really, I think, potentially good time to look at what makes each of us unique. Uranus rules Aquarius, the sign that loves to be individual, does not like to be lumped in with the group, even though it's very concerned with the group, with humanity, the condition of humanity, and so forth. But it when our Uranus is retrograde, sorry, just checking back with my notes, when it's retrograde like that, it gives us a seriousness to really look in and see what perhaps each of us can contribute in our uniqueness, to value that. And then finally, there's a lot this week. Pluto, excuse me, pardon me. Pluto re-enters Capricorn, so that little, you know, trine thing that happened with Venus, you know, they're both on the move. Venus quickly, Pluto very, very slowly, very slowly, like we just had our first Pluto return since the United States was founded. So, and that was in Capricorn, and late in Capricorn, and then we moved into Aquarius, power to the people, and now we're having this little phase, briefly, a few months of it dipping back into Capricorn. So, you know, Pluto's, as I mentioned before, it's all about the power. It's, you know, plutocracy comes, you know, that root word is Pluto there. So it likes the money, and when it's in Capricorn, it can create a lot of plutocrats, and that's what the world's been dealing with. And, you know, there's always balance, so now we're moving more into that era. You've heard of the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Well, as Aquarius is being visited by Pluto, it should bring a lot more emphasis and power to humanity, to the common person, to the group. As it goes back briefly, it gives us again that chance, just like Uranus retrograding, to go back over that territory, to really say, you know, do I want this? What do we want as a group? And it can reveal a lot of corruption. So in the next few months, keep your eyes on that. It could happen on a, you know, personal level, and it depends on, you know, what your chart is all about, but generally it's going to affect the collective. All right, so that was a lot. So again, the Wildwood cards are what I'm using today, and I mentioned there's a strong emphasis on the feminine. We start right off with that, with the 3 of stones. So stones in this deck are earth cards. That's that earth energy, and you can see it's almost like our figure here is leaning back against the rocks, and you probably can't see, but they're actually carved with some kind of a horned animal and then a horse-looking animal, pretty primitive. Not that the art is primitive, but the drawings are, you know, seem to be more primitive animals. And so it's like she's leaning into this earthy animal energy to get something done. And it's often a card about working with the group too. And it's connected to the Empress, who shows up also this week. On Tuesday, we have the Eight of Vessels, vessels being water, or what you usually are probably familiar with as cup energy. And this one is subtitled Rebirth, but a lot of times people see this one as leaving a situation, going away from something that's maybe not working out, leaving it behind, some kind of transformation. But you know, when we do that, it leads to rebirth. So be looking at those energies that day. And I think that card, you know, if you have, everybody has Scorpio on their chart, but if you have some planets there, you might especially be a little sensitive that day. We're staying with the feminine. We're back to the stones. We have 3 stones cards this week, so lots of earth energies. Again, you might know them as discs or pentacles. And this one, the 7, it's subtitled Healing, and you can see a sort of patient, I would assume a warrior with the spear there, and then this I believe more feminine figure meditating, healing, kind of representing the green woman, who is the Empress in this deck. And often it's like taking stock. It can be taking stock of one's health, one's resources, you know, looking into your harvest. What is it that you have? We stay with the stone, so this is that 3rd stones card for this week. So on Thursday, it is the 2 of stones. I love this card, and it's called Challenge, and we have our 2 rabbits here. And I know this came up not too long ago, and I'm always like, are they fighting? Are they playing? I choose to see them as playing, and I like the way they're standing and balancing, and each one is on a stone, of course. So they're very rooted, I mean, little animals, rabbits, they burrow in the earth, they live on the earth. Yes, they jump, but they spend most of their time grounded. And so this card can be kind of finding a balance, a kind of a yin-yang, a very smooth flowing interaction. But the challenge can be to keep that balance as there's an interaction with another. As promised, here's our Empress, called the Green Woman in the Wildwood deck. I just love her. I remember going to the UK for the first time, and I knew about the Green Man, but I'd never heard of the Green Woman, so I was absolutely thrilled to find that there was a Green Woman also. So I love her kind of round apple belly in her cauldron, and obviously she's brewing up something, or perhaps doing a scrying, you know, where she's looking into the water. She's got a little creature familiars by her side. So she's all about abundance, creativity, harmony, you know, sharing, generosity, those wonderful qualities. On the dark side, it can be that sort of smothering kind of thing. So if you're feeling some of that, or, you know, be mindful that you're not doing that to another. It could be very well intentioned, but that's just something to be aware with her. But on the whole, it should be a very generous, nice energy on our Friday. I always love it when we get a good Friday. Then our weekend, as promised, it starts to shift. We get into some masculine energy, and here we have a knight. You might know that as a prince in some decks, and this one is bows, so that's the fire element, and that's usually represented by wands. And of course we have our fox. I don't know if you can tell, but there's such a little sweet grin on this fox, eyes closed, seems to be smiling. The fire, of course, comes, I believe, from the fiery fur of our creature here, and you know, there's that yellow nice glow in the background too. So this one can be very passionate, really creative, going after what they want. You know, it can be a person too with that energy, and a masculine energy. Doesn't have to be a male body or anything like that, but just a masculine energy. So that's on Saturday, so it might get fired up. And then we finish our week, our Sunday, with another masculine card, arrows in this deck, usually are swords in most decks, and this is our 6. And it's called transition. So, Sundays are often a transition for many people, ending the weekend, going back to work the next day. But I feel like it's more significant than that. What is changing? And that is that day when we do have, let me double check, make sure I've got that. Yeah, right. That's that day that Pluto re-enters Capricorn. This always makes me think of the Greek myth of Charon, and you have to pay some money to cross on the ferry and go to the other world, the underworld. We often think of it as. Here's Pluto, ruler of the underworld, and we will be going back a little bit. I think again, just for a retrospective on this. On the energies that we've had, the plutocracy, and how we really, really, really want change. Most of us aren't plutocrats. All right, so we'll end with our Tree Keeper Oracle card, and what came up for us today was Keeper of Solitude. And this is the most, I think, somber colored one of all the cards in this deck. So I don't know, I think there's something about being alone this week. There will be time for togetherness, but not now. This is time for solitude. The spiral of your soul tree and its root system need your attention. It has songs to sing and dreams to sigh straight into your heart. But you can only hear their messages in the intentional quiet of solitude. Take this time to break away from the clan, withdraw from the clamoring world outside and the one in your own mind. And for me, that's often the more challenging one. Nestle down with intentionality. Oh, I love that. Great verb, nestle. Sometimes it takes willing aloneness just to discover your belonging. Oh, that's a wonderful thought too. So we choose to be alone to discover how we actually belong. The belonging to your soul tree, to the present circumstance, and to its challenges, to yourself. So again, thank you so much for being here, beloved. I genuinely hope every week that this helps you in some way, gives you some comfort, some guidance, some understanding. And if I can help you, please reach out for a psychic reading, a consultation, and my information is at the end. And also will be below in the description box. And please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again in 7 days.